Super Friday update time. I don't know, it feels sort of like a little weather might be blowing in, but it doesn't come through on the camera. It's blue sky. I don't know what this breezing is all about, but here's our gray water. All of our new plumbing, everything but the toilet comes to here. This is where the old polyethylene used to go into, like a cistern, basically just an opening justified by stone and block with a top, and that water percolates down through the gravel and ultimately gets to the lake. And in theory, it's filtered on the way. You know, things are left behind in the soil and in the gravel. Nowadays, these things are engineered. Like a leach field has volumes of media and surface area and a depth calculated based on the dwelling and the residence, whatever. That wasn't the case, and we're not doing that. This is our new exit, and that's adapter to stainless steel barb. And then because this was 1.5 inches, and right away the washing machine has to be 2-inch drain, you can't get any smaller than your smallest drain when it comes to plumbing draining. And really, you should get larger after a certain point. Anyway, we went to 2, or we kept it 2 all the way out of here because this is a light use, small dwelling. So we're gonna have to replace this with some 2-inch and just come over here and bury that. So that's happening there. As far as tying in with everything that's going on inside, we got our other major fascia. Now we got some short pieces to add here, and this is all I can do by myself. I got it real close to coming together at the top. I guess that isn't going to adjust, but I'm going to need to get up there and have somebody down here on a step ladder and finish sending it to me, and I'll have to work from the peak down just to avoid the electrical connections there to really get that to sit tightly together and smooth and be nice and beautiful. It's something I could probably fart around with by myself, but it's just so much easier and more safe to do with help. So we'll drop the phone. This is the old underground 2-conductor that went up to the switch up there on the tree that you would turn on, and then it comes down. There's some of it there, and it goes through. There's a landscape light at the top right there, and there's some here and some others. Unfortunately, that's 2-conductor, so that was your only switch. If you arrived and you turned it on, they would be on, and if you wanted to stay but you wanted them off, you'd have to go up there and turn them off and then come back and hope you don't fall down the stairs or something like that. It needs to be a 3-way switch. You need to be able to turn them on and off here and on and off inside, and that calls for 3-conductor. There's no other way to slice that. So I got a roll of 3-conductor, and you just have to have it between the switches. So the home run to the inside switch from the box is 2-conductor. Then you have 3-conductor from that switch to the other switch, and then it can stay 2-conductor to all the lights. But between the switches, you need 3-conductor wires so that you have the option to break and unbreak, basically 2 channels of power. So that's rolled up here, and the owner at his leisure can get that ran up to there, and we'll put a 3-way switch there. The switch itself is also different, and we'll put a 3-way switch here, and that will fix up that little scenario. We have power. You also need, well, at least me, I need 3-conductor to the bathroom fan. You see all the conductors that it has, because it has a fan and it has a light, and you could lump them together on 2-conductor, and either they both come on when you turn it on or they both go off. But I'd like to have 2 switches stacked, one for fan and one for light. I did say before, it's nice to force people when the lights in here come on, the fan runs. But the lights in here are going to be nice sconces with nice ambiance. When this light in the shower is dimmable and perhaps a different temperature, and it's right over the shower, it's just odd to me to have the shower blaring bright when you come in to take a leak in the middle of the night or something like that, and the fan roaring. So we are going to amend our policy like I said before, but that means, we got our flags all in the box here, so when you take the beauty cover, when you work in the electrical panel, you can't see any of these, but the first thing that you do when you need to service anything, you take that away, and then you try to read the legend or the circuit directory that's printed on the panel cover, and that had nice numbers next to the breakers when the cover was here, but once you take it away, then you're counting down all the time to correspond, whatever, so I like when things are labeled for service. And we have power now, and I turned a few things on. So like when you come in here and you turn on the entryway, that guy comes on. We have a kitchen light here you can turn on. Laundry, it's been kind of fun. Laundry comes on. These are just temporary, just to make sure. When you want to go back and deal in the utility room, you're going to come over here and open the cupboard door. Then you can reach up and hit the switch on the wall that's right here, and work back here behind the refrigerator if you want. I'll leave that on for now. And we were finally able to plug in the vacuum cleaner and give this place a cursory suck job, which is confidentially one of my favorite parts. It's just nice to keep things clean. I'm not tripping through stuff, and you work so long and so hard when you're kneeling on the floor doing things, getting stabbed in the leg, and you never can appreciate. Some of my friends have joked that this is like I'm going to install clear drywall because it is so clean. I like to work that way, and in terms of how straight and organized everything is, but it lets you appreciate it. I'll get some nice photographs in here of the systems. But we're getting down to doing drywall. We had a few loose ends. I couldn't get back here to crimp this hot water. It was coming out between here and there, and I couldn't get back there to crimp it. I don't know what I was thinking. I'm going to have to move it here, and because it is crimped now. We finished up all of the charge air ends on the pecs here. Those were all just stacked. Those components were stacked up loose. I tried to come up with something cleaner than 1/4 inch. This is a typical air fitting with a 1/4 inch MPT to a bushing 1/4 to 1/2 to a female 1/2 to pecs to the pecs. I was hoping for 1/2 inch pecs to air hose for this purpose. A lot of people pressure test their plumbing systems. I didn't quickly return something on Google, so I went all in and connected all that up. And we got almost all the protection plates on. I did make 2 circuits in the kitchen. I was farting. I always do that. I always make every other kitchen outlet on one of 2 different circuits so that you don't pop one. It's code. And for whatever reason, I started in here and just thought, I'll forget it. But I just couldn't get over it, so I added a second circuit. So this 2 are on 2 different circuits immediately. So it's, you know, that one are together, and this one are together. There's one for the refrigerator and the one in the island in the floor. Anyway, the first outlet on both is a ground fault circuit interrupted outlet, which means all of them, because they're in series, are ground fault protected. If you should be with the water or any metal or anything in here, you won't get a tickle. And the only one in the bathroom is also ground fault interrupted. You can get a breaker that's ground fault, and then that circuit for kitchen outlet 1, kitchen outlet 2, this would be a ground fault breaker. They're physically a little bit bigger. Almost all of these I had in here from when I took this apart. I didn't want to go buying extra things. Although I did, I get the breaker outlets, whatever, 6 1/2 dozen. This is all clean back here and ready for action. We did run into one issue here in several places. There's more jam for all the windows and the door sticking into the building past the framing than there usually is, because the jam is a standard. Generally speaking, a jam is standard for the 3 1/2 inch framing, the 1/2 inch on the outside plywood, the 1/2 inch of drywall on the inside of plywood, and then some more on the outside to get you out in front of the siding as well. It depends on the period of time when they were made, but really this is sheathing and siding, as we've said before, double duty, so it's thinner than usual, which means when this window jamb was all set up and finished outside, well, it sticks into the room too far. And so that's an issue, because when you put drywall on the wall and you want to trim the window, there's a big gap behind it. And around we go, and some people pack that out and then trim, and then the trim around your window's 1 1/4 inch or 2 inches around, whatever. Sorry, somebody's calling me here. Ignore. We're going to get into trouble here. I think the easiest thing to do is going to be to put 2 layers of drywall on this wall. The problem is, this is a big wall. So we're doubling our drywall investment for this project, basically, because we need that here on account of the windows. We need it on this wall. We need 1 layer of drywall because we're going to do lumber on this wall, but we'll need to put, or at least 3/8 plywood, because the lumber is a little thicker than drywall. We're going to basically need to pack this wall out to get to this plane. We're going to need to pack this wall out, probably with drywall, 2 layers once again, to get to the plane of the door, or you're going to have trouble here. And again, for this window. But that means that these, boxes come with enough of a return for 1-layer drywall. We're going to come around and add a scab of 1/2-inch material to every one of these electrical box connections to bump them out. The shower is, this room was framed for the shower to sit in here tight, framing to framing, and now we're going to try to bring the wall out we're going to put twice as much material on the wall, so the transition from the wall covering to the shower is going to be weird. So there are puzzles to solve, but it's Friday, and this is where we got. And so we will catch you next week.